If a psychic gas cloud started manifesting my nightmares, I have to imagine they would probably be something like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk combining Metaverse's data mining with Neuralink, and throwing in a dash of Salt Vampire for good measure. I'm Gayfesh, and today we'll be talking Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 3, Mining the Mind's Minds. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Spoilers ahead. Season 2 started shaking up the whole Mariner/Boimler A plot, Rutherford/Tendi B plot by mixing them up a little, and it feels like Season 3 is doing that even more with solo stories. Tendi gets the B plot in this one, but I think it needed a little more time in the oven. She's getting mentored into the science officer program, but her mentor is Mglimu, who doesn't seem to know a thing about science himself, but advises her that the main job of a ship's science officer is to be an advocate for science on the bridge, sometimes needing to interrupt the captain, which is now her assignment. Get the captain's attention in an assertive way. She of course fumbles a few times before going to Dr. Tiana, who gives her the confidence she needs and is the real mentor all along or something. It's not fully coherent, and besides, I don't think timidness was ever a character flaw Tendi possessed. In this cartoon show, she's the most flamboyantly cartoonish. The main plot involves a planet with a silicon-based species that has created a bunch of telepathic minds that lure people in with their fantasies only to turn them to stone. This feels like someone combined Devil in the Dark with the Man-Trap, and I love the idea. The Cerritos is working with the Carlsbad to help clean up the mines as the Silicon beings are negotiating a truce with the science teams on the planet. At first, Mariner, Boimler, and Rutherford think the Carlsbad crew looks down on them as a joke, and they're definitely working faster, so Mariner decides they should pick up the pace too and get done first. Of course, when handling psychic minds that lure you in with your fantasies, we get a nice insight into what each of them wants. First, Rutherford takes a page from Geordi and fantasizes about Leah Brahms. Poor Leah, she's appeared in a fantasy form at least 3 times now and only as a human once. Boimler fantasizes about rushing off to save the day, and Mariner fantasizes about Jennifer. Apparently they're seeing each other now, and she acts like she doesn't want to label it, but the fantasy clearly shows she wants to call Jennifer her Andorian girlfriend. When their mind cleanup gets a little too enthusiastic, some of them break open and the grain mist released starts manifesting as their nightmares. There's a giant Borg snake, Klingon clowns with batleth arms, and a werewolf Jennifer. They all get chased into a cave, which leads to a whole computer core system where it's revealed the Silicon aliens and the scientists have been scheming together to build devices that will harvest all the data from the brains of Starfleet officers. In addition, a cute little discovery is that apparently the Carlsbad crew just wanted to make themselves look good for the Cerritos because it's apparently quite famous, described as the Enterprise of the California-class ships. Kinda has that whole I'm a niche internet micro-celebrity vibe to it. Overall, the episode had some cute moments, and I like the reveal that the two groups needing mediation were actually working together the whole time to try to pull one over on Starfleet. But this will probably be a fairly forgettable episode otherwise. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down below.
What was with the plotline of the Carlsbad captain just calling Captain Freeman old a bunch? Feels like another plotline that needed more time in the oven.
Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video with your friends. Subscribe to my Patreon to get shouted out in future videos. Check out my Bandcamp for banging tunes, including all the tracks you heard in this video. Follow me on Twitter @GayestFesh, and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Rest of Both Worlds, where I go through Star Trek The Next Generation with a friend who's never seen it. Thank you to all my patrons, with a special shout out to Piftle Cakes and Renee Vorbeck. Your support is greatly appreciated. See you all in the next video.